building a numeric outline 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. You can do, but be careful. Windows, Microsoft, sort feature is pathetic. If you take this out to any lesser number, 1.1.1, 1.2, 0.11, 1.3, it's not going to work. It's pathetic. It's been pathetic from day one, and Excel, Microsoft refuses to fix common sense problems. If you have 30 worksheets with numeric configuration, even macros won't sort this sequentially. You build something like this, take that into consideration, that your sort features across the board, and it's not only Microsoft. It could be a Linux, it could be something deeper. No one has figured out how to sort sequentially, but they can put man on the moon, but they certainly can't figure out this sort feature. Shame on them. Set up a numeric outline from text. We're going to use COUNTA, if, mid, find, len. Old school stuff that works. Can you incorporate this into using the newer tools? Well, I'll discuss that later. But here, I'm going to explain step by step how to do this. Over here is a narrative, states key points, and then our anatomy, which I'll discuss in detail. Brad Williams, Excel Prime, set up a numeric outline from text. We're going to use the COUNTA, the mid, the find, and the len functions in order to pull this off. The critical thing here is the spacing. Spacing is what differentiates one chapter from the next. Let's take a look over here at our write-up. Formulas based on the Excel function. COUNTA, if, mid, find, and len can be used to generate basic outline numbering. Here's the formula, COUNTA. You're going to notice there's an if statement in here. We have a true and a false kind of deal. We've seen this countless times. This formula only supports a two-level outline, two-level. This formula combines a level 1 and level 2 number using a period as a delimiter. The result is a level like 1.1. COUNTA generates the level 1 as follows. Count B5. All right, this is a expanding or sequential counter. All right, it's going to grow as we copy down. So subsequently, it allows us to build over here in D, build this outline. Back over to this function. The list is a reference that expands sequentially, all right? The number level 2 is generated using the following formula. Is not empty, 1, then fulfill this thing. The if function is used to evaluate the contents of B5. If B5 is not empty, we have a new level 1 heading, and if will return 1. In other words, level 2 numbering is reset to 1 whenever a new level 1 entry is added. If B5 is empty, the level 2 number must be incremented sequentially by the value in the cell above. The outline number is a sequence of text, not a number. So this is a bit challenging. Therefore, we must extract the value with a text function prior to incrementing. To accomplish this, we use the mid function to extract all text to the right of the period, which we then search for using the find function. Len is used to guarantee that all characters following the period are kept. Observe that we add 1 to the result, which is still text. The operation forces Excel to convert the text to a number, producing an incremented number as a result. Finally, the level 1 and 2 numbers are concatenated with a period. Let's look at this thing. Here we have COUNTA, B5. We're just counting as we move this thing down. We have this concatenation, then we have this if statement, which just parses this thing and increments it if true. Otherwise, it advances 1 additional chapter. Here, I broke this thing down piece by piece. Here is the formula. Here is len D4 plus 1. Len D4. So we're looking up here. D4, notice this, D4. We're up here in the heading. We have to plant our flag somewhere, right? And if not, this will be 1.0. We need to start at 1.1. We're going to go 1 above our actual starting point. Here, we're going to get this find, so on and so forth. This is not helpful. In the end, it's 1.1. How? Count A, B5, B5. What is it? That's 1. And then we're going to add 1. We're going to see this 1 here. You see this if empty, 1, mid, and then we're going to look at mid. It's going to give us this 1.1. If we want to break this thing down further, we want to look at this thing. We have this if statement, value, then we have the if, and if we capture this, F9, we get 1.1. Here it's a better observation. If we look at len, D5, and if you want to know what we're doing here, I started up here. This is the count, and then this is the mid function. Here's the mid function, and you could see concatenating these two are gonna end up here, but I'm gonna break it down even further. We have a len D5. That's just len D5. Here we are now in D5, 1.1. We're gonna add 1 to it. So we have 3 plus 1, 4. And we have this find. Keep in mind, we're going backwards here. We have find D5. Here, D5, find D5. We're moving backwards, so just keep that in mind. Then we have mid. D5, find period D5 plus 1, len D1. It's going to find this period up in D5. Go through, and you're going to see this is our starting point. Our len D5 is 4. Our len is 4. Our find is 3. So mid D5, we're going back to D5. Find D5. Find the period, plus 1, len D1. So what does this look like? We have our start number, F9. It's going to be 3. And number of characters, F9 is 3. We're going to go plus 1. What's that going to leave us? It's going to leave us with 2, all right?
Be sure to check out all of our Excel courses. Excel data and text manipulation. We have an advanced beginners and intermediate course. Excel essentials. This is for individuals new to Excel. We have an advanced, excellent beginners, level 1 and level 2, and intermediate level course. Excel formulas only. We have a beginner, an advanced, and an intermediate level course. Click on any of the links. There's a short video that explains everything about the course. Check it out.
Here we got B6, not empty. If not empty, value of true, 1. Is this empty? Yeah. Go here, value of true, 1, value of false, F9. And we have 2. We're going to count A. We're going to count, we're at 1, count B5, B6, 1. Count A, B5. We're going to concatenate this. We're going to put that period in there. Our answer is 2, 1.2. That's it. This beginning part is kind of fuzzy. Whenever we're dealing with the manipulation, we start fussing with this mid function. Remember, we had 3 and 3. We're going to start at 3 and end with this number here. We're adding the 1 and the 1, all right? I just want to clarify the mid function here. We break this thing down. This is how it works. We have number of characters, F9. We will look at this len function. We have 4. We have len D4, D4. So we're going to look at this find, F9. Notice we're not going to get anything because we're looking up 1 row. I'm going to go down here, and here's this mid. We have our F9, our text, our start number, F9, 3, and number of characters, F9. We're looking at the third character. Why? Because our find says find the dot. So we have 3 characters. We're going to keep 3. 1, we're going to keep that 1. Then we're just going to add 1. That's really what we're doing. If we look at this thing, F9, you see we have the 1, which is text, 1 plus 1 is going to be 2. And subsequently, we're going to concatenate this thing. We're going to concatenate it over here. Concat, and then we have the value, it's going to be 1. Then we have this concatenate. We have the false. This is going to be true, and then we're just focusing on the false. One more example. Here is the mid. Here's the mid. So we have a text. It's going to be 1.1, start number, F9, 3, and number of characters. Now keep in mind, what are we keeping? We're going to keep this 1. We're going to keep the 1. I just showed you that example. Let's go to this example. And in the end, F9, we're going to keep that 2. Our find said 0.2, and then what does mid say? Our start number is 3, so count 1, 2, 3. Number of characters, F9, 3, 1. So we're going to keep 1. We're going to keep one of the characters, which happens to be 2, which is going to be text. We F9 this, and 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. We're going to concatenate that with the 1, and that's a quick summary. Brad Williams, XL Prime.